Hello and welcome along to another episode of Painting Classic Cars. Here we have a modern classic by our standards. I mean, it's still over 20 years old. We've got the Porsche 997 here, which is coming to us around about the Christmas shutdown. And it's one of those jobs that's kind of grown and grown and grown. We discussed with the customer various different options without having seen the car. You wanted options from minor repair all the way through to the full bare metal repaint. Um, it's been owned by this gentleman for quite a while now, and he's had some work done over the years. And unfortunately, it's all coming back again. Both rear wheel arches have had repairs before, but they're all blistering out and starting to look a little bit scabby. And none of this work is done that long ago. So, prime objective was to get both rear quarter panels repaired once and for all and painted. And then there's a little bit of corrosion on the front of the sill panels. Can we get those done? Can we check the front wheel arches because they're starting to blister a little bit? And the bumpers are a slightly different shade. So the job kind of grew a little bit, but we're sticking with the localized repairs, paint to blend. Gentleman's got no intention of getting rid of this car, and he's heading close now towards retirement. And the plan was at that point, the car won't be used as much, so he'll probably invest at a later stage in a full bare metal repaint. But as all the little bits of work have grown and grown and grown, suddenly we're into a uniform colour, basically. And he's taken the big leap to say, you know what, I'm going to do the full bare metal repaint now. Engine and gearbox are currently out of the car. They're over with our friends at Goblin Automotive. Always fall over that. So Brad over at Goblin has got the engine in bits right now and is doing a load of work on that. So what started off as a localized repair has grown and grown and grown, and we're now doing a full bare metal Novol For Classic car repaint on a Porsche 997. So I know I say this a lot. I don't know how well it will come out on camera, but if we have a quick look round, you may well be able to see the various different shades we're looking at. I don't know if you can come in here, Luke, and you can see that this side panel, the strip rail down the roof, and the roof, they're three different shades. It's obviously one of those colours which isn't amazing to blend. So doing it all in one go will be the way to go. We've not really started on this, but out of curiosity, I'll ground back the wheel arches to see what we're dealing with here. I'll overlay, as usual, a bit of footage from up inside this arch lip. The arch lip tucks right back up in inside the car. Now, whoever did the previous repair, they've not got paint up there. So you'll be able to see in the clips I overlay that we've just got sharp, jagged lacquer where it's all just delaminated away and peeling away. And we've got corrosion sitting in there again. So we'll go over and redo that, cut the inner lip out, repair the inner lip. The corrosion on the front edges of the sills, until the paint's off, it's hard to see what's going on there, but it looks fairly minimal. Around the front here again, sorry Lou, if I drag you all the way over here, you can see that the bonnet, the wings, and the bumper, again, they're different colours. It might be crystal clear in the video, but it's certainly crystal clear when you look at it in the flesh here. So what we're going to do, it's almost one of our first jobs of the year, of the new year rather. What we're going to do is we're going to get all the badges off, we'll get the bumpers off, lights out. We'll get most of the exterior trim off. We'll leave all the glass in place for now, and we're just going to mask sort of an inch over or half inch over the glass channels instead of about getting all the paint off the car. We'll do this mechanically and with paint stripper. Leave the glass in for now just to minimise the amount of dust and debris that's going to go inside the car. Once we've got the bulk of it off, we'll get Nigel in, he'll cut the bonded glass out. Then we'll go around and just take off the last little bits, and we'll get this into Novol For Classic car hybrid epoxy. It's important to use a hybrid, which is the new time of technology, designed for all cars post sort of mid-80s when they went over to galvanised steels and things like that. So the first big job of the year, There's a lot coming in off the back of this, so the videos will be spread out a little bit. And we've got the Transit to carry on with. And the Mercedes there will be in colour as well by the time this video is going live on YouTube. So lots and lots to be catching up on. Lots and lots to be starting and moving forward. So we'll carry this video on now, going through the strip process. Much of what you've seen before. Bit unusual doing something this modern for us. A modern classic, but yeah, we seem to be doing a run on Porsches at the minute, which is great. Yeah, let's get breaking this thing down, stripping the paint off. Okay, paint stripping's well underway now. We're using two different methods of doing this. So much of the car has been painted already at different stages, so there's different thicknesses of paint all over it. So both started off with a DA on the bonnet, and there are layers upon layers upon layers of paint on here. So we've abandoned the DA on the bonnet, gone straight in with the paint stripper. So that's sitting underneath the polish sheeting in a minute, just eating away at the paint that's on there. As you can see, all the edges are masked out, all brown papered, so we're not going to get anything into the seams or the edges. And to multitask and keep the job going, while the paint strip is sweating out and eating there, both carrying on with the DA and the extraction hoover, getting all the paint off of another area. You can see on the roof here, not so much paint. It's a long and tedious task, but got to be done. As you can also see, we've still got the glass in the car. The idea there is, okay, we've got extraction and hoovers, but it is a messy job. So let's keep the inside of the car as clean as we can. We'll get the bulk of the paint off, then we'll get the glass out and we'll go around and just tidy up all the edges with the cabin or back mask out so it's all nice and clean. Okay, Bo's been really busy, as you've seen. All the paint's coming off. It's coming off nice. Aluminium bonnet, which is in really great shape. There's no dinks, dents, or oxidization. That's in great shape. There's been a ton of paint on these panels. It's taken quite a bit of work, but bless him, he's cracking on. We're all taped up. As I say, most of the paint is off. 2 days' time, the glass comes out, and then we'll backmask and get all the rest of it off, mirrors off, door handles, and so on. But I've been cracking on while Bo's been doing that. I'm making a start now on wheel arch repairs. I've taken some footage which I'll overlay, which is kind of showing you what's going on inside, because from the outside there's a few dents here, but there's no corrosion damage. It's in really good shape, which is a shame because I've got to cut it off. As you'll see from the overlay footage, the corrosion is on the inner return lip. And that's also taken out some of the inner wheel arch itself. So it's only a small section, it's only sort of in here, but if I just cut this piece out and repair that little piece there, again in the overlay you'll see we've got corrosion coming through further down the lip. So I'm just kicking the can down the road. This is going into Novol epoxy, which is anti-corrosion. And the real key thing to remember there is the point is it stops future corrosion. It won't stop corrosion that's already there. So unless you cut it out, it's still going to be sitting there festering away no matter what you cover it with. So because of the way all this is in quite an intricate little form in here, quite a tight little return, what we're going to end up having to do pretty much is probably ½ inch, ¾ of an inch all the way through this lip here, cut this off, get it away, make the repairs to the inner. We can't buy anything, there's no quarter panels, there's no wing repair panels, so we'll have to get in the metal room on a stretcher and make up this wheel arch lip here. So we'll get the inner in, get the outer made up, protect it all with some epoxy, some zinc weld through, get it on there ready for epoxy once the outer's on. So a shame, because I say it all looks really good, but the only way to do it is to do it properly. Cut it out and go again. So we'll crack on and get that done now. Okay, so we've cracked on, we've made up a, I mean, it's nice and simple with this, it's a decent shape, nice and straightforward. So we're just, on the shrinker stretcher, made up our wheel arch lip, which you would have seen, which goes in something like that. It does fit. The problem is, this is all pushing it down out of the way now. One of those jobs where it just keeps on growing, sadly. So we have paused to have a chat with the customer as to just how far they want to go. Because as you can see here, this inner arch is shot to bits all the way around here. I mean, all we've done is unpick the outer, and all this inner has just fallen apart. It's gone here, it's gone further down. With the footage that I'll overlay, you can possibly see it's gone further down here. So it's gone right into the front edge of that wheel well. So there's a lot more work here. Originally, we were just doing localized repairs. We could see that there was a bit of corrosion here to the inner. It wasn't until we've got this off that it's all just fallen apart. So the job's now evolved yet again. We need to get the complete interior out, because a localized repair here on the edge of the inner lip is fine. There's nothing behind there that we're going to have any issues with. But once we start coming down here, especially as it comes right into that arch, inner arch as well, we are well within the quarter panel cavities there. So we need to get front seats out, back seats out, carpets out, rear quarter panel covers off, everything out the way before we start cutting, grinding, welding into that area. So just sent some photographs over to the customer, really made his Monday, and waiting for some feedback, and we'll crack on with that once we hear back from him. Okay, so we've had the chat with the customer, which is never a pleasant experience, but got to keep everyone up to speed with what's going on. Needless to say, the go-ahead has been given, so all the interior is coming out now bit by bit. We just thought we'd pause at this point without it all out and just show you why we have to take everything out when doing something like this. All of this is super, super flammable. So if we pull this to one side, here's the inner wheel arch, all carpeted. If we pull the carpet to one side, in there we've got more of this insulation. So yeah, don't take any chances with any kind of repairs like this. Get it all out, reduce all fire risks, damage to customers' pride and joy. So we'll carry on now getting the rest of this out, and then we're on to the metalwork. Okay, with the bulk of this out of here now. Now see, we've got this big cavity, which again is filled with yet more this lovely flammable insulation, which would go up pretty damn quickly. So if we get all that out of the way, we can now see in here is our wheel arch well, and down inside that bottom corner there is where we're going to be cutting and grinding. Pretty hard to pick out on the camera here, try and balance everything, but we do have, just in there we can see there's some corrosion from the inside coming through, so that will focus up there, and then further down the bottom there as well. So now we've got all this out of the way, we've got nice clean access, we know we've got nothing flammable in here. We can get the weld through blankets in there, get it all protected and start cutting this out. getting some repairs in. Okay, it's all a little bit cosy and cramped under here. We'll see how we go. And noisy. We are a noisy workshop, but yeah, moving inside now, you can see just how bad the inner arch is. It's all pretty grim. So we're going to be making these up in sections. So just making up on the bench now to get this first section in here. So we've got that, which will get trimmed up a little bit more and go into here. And what we're going to do, which we're going to do now, we'll put a return edge all the way along there to replace all of that. So we'll get this done in one section, and then we'll get this bit here done in the next section. Okay, in contrast to the Cadillac that we're also working on at the same time, it's a little bit cosy in this wheel arch. We've also got really thin galvanized steel, so we're not going to go mad grinding all these welds back. Mostly it's gone in nice and neat and tidy with the welds, so we're just going to clean it up, get some protective paint on there and get that sealed in. So we now have an inner wheel arch in here, which is nice and strong and the right shape. And really importantly with these, come out here, this area here, this return on the lip, it needs to be quite narrow because we've got some big meaty rims going in here. So as per the factory, that's rolled nice and tight into there. Good shaping all the way through here, ready to now push forward and get the outer wheel arch panel on there. There we go, one near side rear wheel arch all done and repaired. I had to put a small repair section into here, that had all corroded away. And then obviously we've done the outer, you can see there. Attached to the new inner that we just showed you. Gone in pretty nice, a little bit of shaping just to finish off. Then it'll go into the epoxy. And with all metal fabricated repairs, it will need a little wipe across the top of it of leveling filler. What we've got here, spot welded all the way up through here. And then as it comes to here, can't really see the lack of light actually, but that's a rolled edge now, ensuring we have the wheel clearance for these big meaty rear wheels. Going round to the other side, again, you can see here it all looks okay. It doesn't look too bad in there at all, but we do know, because I've already had this side off, and I'll do some footage in a minute, inside is actually worse than the near side that we've just done. So unfortunately, again, we'll have to cut all of this off to deal with all the extensive corrosion inside here. And on this side, we've also lost, you can just see focusing up there, the back of the sill. So we'll crack on, we'll get this side done, which won't be a video step by step as we go through, because it's pretty much the same as what we've just done, but we'll get that done, overlay a little bit of footage, and then crack on with the epoxy primer on the rest of the body. Okay, Okay, so with all the welding complete now, both arches are done, inner and outer, repaired to the back of the sill. The body is now going into Novol For Classic car anti-corrosion epoxy. The panels are already done, so the bonnet and the doors are already in the epoxy. We're in the booth now. It's pretty warm in here. It's been drying out because obviously the car's sat for a little while now in the workshop while it's being worked on. So we have it in the booth. The whole thing, since it's been paint stripped, the whole thing we've gone over again with the 180 and the DA. So this is now all cleaned back down, all degreased, baked off, so we know we've got nice, clean, dry steel ready to accept the Novol For Classic car epoxy. Okay, we are going to call time now on this video. You've just seen Bo and Luke go through getting this into Novol For Classic car epoxy. This is a hybrid epoxy. So we take every opportunity to push forward with the training. And those of you that saw last week's video when we tested out the WSP primer gun from Iwata, great opportunity, as we said in that video, that we tried this, try the WSP rather with the epoxy, and it's it's really nice. Even the guys next door in the body shop came by and said, wow, is that base coat? So yep, the gun is great, and the car, which obviously is our focus in this video, is really cracking on now. So we're all into the epoxy throughout. Next stage is to key it up. We've got a little bit of levelling work to do. Not a huge amount. Obviously we need to just level out the rear wing repairs, wheel arch repairs, and then push forward and into primer. So thank you for watching. This is the end of part 1. We'll move forward with part 2, getting the shaping into shape and into primer, through to colour and reassembly. So thanks for watching. If you like it, please hit like and subscribe. If you don't like it, apologies. We'll catch you next week.